Good morning, everybody. Great. Well, good morning, Star Wars fans. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Misasi Training Temple. So I want to do I'm hoping to do a full review of my OCS month because this has been my best one ever. And to put the cherry on top, this was my final game that I actually won. Now, some of you may think this is, petty, childish, immature, whatever, but to finish my OCS month with a win, and especially a win against a world champion, Mr. Bastian Winkelhaus, aka Zlorfik on Gemp, I couldn't help but use this as my game review. So let me show you what happened. I am playing Revenge of the Sith Dooku, which is a deck I've really enjoyed playing. I built it for last weekend when I went to the Naboo Event 2 in-person event, which was awesome. If you haven't seen it, check out my playlist where I sort of did a daily update and a tournament report for that day as well. But without further ado, let's get into this match. So I said I'm playing Dooku, Revenge of the Sith, and Bastian is playing the ANAKIN Skywalker Saga. So, straight away I'm thinking this is going to be cool. It's mains on mains. I haven't played much of the Saga since it first came out. I know it's been tweaked a little bit, but I'm just expecting, a handful of Anakins, General Kenobis. So, and pause this here for a second. My start, I like the Naboo generator core, mainly because it gives you 3 icons, which is great. But also, you've got guys with lightsabers in this deck who are ability 5 and greater, so they're pretty safe here. It just reduces. I know Jedi Masters and Jedi are a big thing at the moment, but the guys, like Mara with lightsaber, Kylo with lightsaber, they've got no immunity to attrition, so they have to come here with at least 2 characters, because if you hit one of them and they're really less than 5 to go in the use pile. So I just really like this site. It gives that little bit of protection, and obviously it's a drain 2 or 3 if you've got a saber. And then you start the invisible hand security precautions. So activating 7 turn 1 is cool. I really like that. Evil is everywhere has got to be started. In my opinion, I think it's probably standard for these decks because it pulls your saber, it pulls the hallway, and in this deck especially, it makes Dooku totally immune to attrition. And then my third starting effect is Crush the Rebellion. I really like playing this. It pulls out the new I Have You Now V, which you'll see in a few minutes. And it also pulls out Evade a Monarch and cancels Clash. So you got Clash protection. I do play an Evade a Monarch in here, but I think just having Crush on the table keeps your opponent honest to the 12 card hand size, which in some of my games you can see that's hamstringing people. They're trying to play used interrupts to cycle them back so they can draw more. I'm not sure if it happens in this game, but definitely in one I played earlier, my opponent drew his 12 cards and he still had like 15 force left activated, and he didn't want to use it, obviously, because he didn't want me to put his cards back. So, I just drew a massive hand, and then I just had all the answers, and he had 12 card hand just deploying like a character at a time. So yeah, I really liked this start. Let's crack on. Bastian's using the new Best Starfire Pilot, which lets you play the system and a ship and its pilot. Probably should have paused it there to let you have a quick look at the deck, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of other opportunities to do so. One thing I have learned playing this deck in particular is I always want to rush my first turn as a dark side player. As you can see in my hand, I had Grievous, Dooku. In previous games, I've been thinking, I'll just deploy Dooku, get his saber on him, threaten a drain of 3. But then, you go down from an 8 to a 7 card hand. There would have been 1 force left. If my opponent's got anything decent in his hand to, come back at me with, you put yourself in a sticky position because you have to either reinforce or draw up and potentially lose that character. So I've been learning just turn 1, try and get your activation going, which I completely whiffed on. The only 2 locations I play in this deck other than my starting are the Invisible Hand hallway, and I play the Imperial Holotable because I love playing Masterful Move non-V for the Destiny 6. So so I used Crush, pulled out the I Have You Now. I saw, first of all, Dooku's lightsaber wasn't in there, so deploying him wouldn't have been a good idea. Neither was my hallway. I think the Holotable was in there, but I didn't have a Masterful Move to pull it out, so that's why. Another reason for just... Oh, excuse me. I've not long woken up, it's like 6 in the morning. Anyway, so I knew I had to have a Masterful Move in my force pile, so I was just waiting another turn. So that really sucked, especially when Bastion played his Skywalker Hut to pull 3PO, and then he played the JCC and put Yoda out. So he went from like 7 to 13 activation. I'm still on 7. So that's bad news bears for me. My hand is okay, but it's not amazing. I Have You Now. Let's just have a quick review of the new one. So the old one obviously was just if your Jedi was in a battle with an opponent's rebel of ability greater than 2, add a battle destiny to if it's Luke. This new one though says if Revenge of the Sith on table, so you have to play it with Revenge. If a Dark Jedi is in battle with opponent's character of ability greater than 3, add a battle destiny. You don't see many characters of ability less than 3 these days. Obviously you see like Rose, Poe, Finn, but they're just generic support characters. Pretty much every other character is going to be ability 4 or greater, so that's awesome. Also, this text, haven't ever used this yet, but I could see it being very useful, is during your move phase you can use 2 force to relocate your apprentice from an episode 1 site to another site. So in games like, I'm thinking No Idea, if I wanted to, you could put Dooku here, turn 1, if you really had to, I guess. And then next turn just pay 2 and shuttle him over, depending on what your opponent does. So I think it's handy text to know about. I just never used it yet, so on with the game. So Bastion obviously has like a really good setup. He pulls out the nightclub. The only thing didn't work out for him is he whiffed on pulling his Polis Maris site, I think it's called. Polis Massa. So just checking there with Crush to basically see if I can get the whole table out, which I do. Another reason why I play Crush is basically for Fall On. Fall On V, most games I've played this deck, I get him out turn 1 because I played 2 double backs as well. And I think here I was drawing because I couldn't remember if I saw him in my reserve deck or not. But I was kind of glad that I did just draw it. I drew up to 20 cards. I'm not sure if I can. Oh, yeah. Okay, so double back. It's only Destiny 3, which is a little bit on the low side. A 4 would be nice, but beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, you can pull out full arm, non-maintenance Boba Fett, Dansborin. It'd be cool if we got a Dansborin V. That was better than just the dude who. I think he's just pretty much a pilot bounty hunter who adds. He does add 3, to be fair, but anyway. Or Dengar, which can also be Dengar in his ship. And I've used this text before as well, but during your move phase, your bounty hunter or independent starship, they pilot and make a regular move. But it's this bit I've used. Move your bounty hunter as a react. So in a game, I think I was playing Rescue the Princess V, and I had, this was a different deck actually, but I had Vader and Boba Fett and Dengar and Aura Singh at another site. My opponent battled and Boba Fett shimmied over, did the swap text, added an extra battle destiny, and life was good. It's kind of like the run for bounty hunters. Anyway, so yeah, so I played 2 of these in the deck. Boba Fett, love this Boba Fett. He's just so cool. Obviously played Dengar with Blaster Carbine and Forlorn, which, there you go. So just cool characters you can pull out. Gives you a quick look at my deck. So Disarmed, Play Sense, Weapon Lev, which I've used a couple of times. It's always getting when you see people pull the Weapon Lev shield, but if you can catch someone out with it, it's great. Play 3 Sidiouses, and I just play 3 of the Darth Tyrannus rather than Dooku's, because I haven't gone down the Force Lightning route and playing the Plagueis effect. I have thought about putting the Plagueis effect in and just floating it, because it allows Sidious to use his text even when he's with people. But not sure. Might take Weapon Lev out for it because people do usually pull the shield. Dr. Ree's just a standard in like a mains and toys deck. Force Push. Play 3 commands because you've got obviously General Grievous, Thrawn V. Thrawn V, I just really think he's ace. He's an admiral to go in space on your hand, or a general on the ground, and he also blanks the admiral's orders. So if you get something like an OA where they play the capital support, he can turn that off to allow you to still get more battle destinies. Sifir Mara, and then also General Pride. He is a star. He's amazing, I think. Destiny 3 character, which is cool. Deploy 3, forfeit 5, power 3, ability 3. So he's got really good stats. He's a +2 pilot, and when with a resistance carry that adds a battle destiny, and everyone's playing resistance characters, Rey. If you're not playing a resistance character deck, everyone's got OG Rey in because she's solid. The rest of his text is irrelevant, but General Pride. In my Naboo games last weekend, I was playing Kev's Legend deck. Dropped Pride with Tyrannus against like Jedi Rey. So I'm already getting 2 battle destinies. Play I Have You Now, get 3. Play Command, get 4. And it was just a beautiful thing. And then No Escape, Ninth Sister, a Grabber, and the rest. So pretty straightforward. Just a lot of characters. Undercover Spy Protection, obviously Sniper Darkstrike, BB9 because he's a Destiny 6. I did have Xizor in here, because I think Xizor with the Ninth Sister sort of similar. You got to have like decent ability, but just didn't feel as good. So I swapped him out for the old Seventh Sister, because attrition against you here is -1 if she's with a Jedi, which everyone's playing Jedi. She's got reasonable stats, and she lets you cycle cards, or not cycle cards, but get cards in your hand. So I just like her as a character. So back to the game. As you can see, Bastion plays General Kenobi, Rey, and then shuttles relocates Yoda. So I was kind of panicking at this point. You know, he's got a 10 card hand, he's activating 17 Force, he's got 3 beefy characters on the table, threatening a drain of 3. I'm still only activating 12, and I haven't got a force field to protect Dooku mainly. So I was a little bit like, But this is where I like this site, because I'm thinking, well, if I can hit Rey, that reduces 4 power straight away. I've got the You're Beaten, I've got a Dark Strike, and yeah, so it was kind of one of those make or break turns, and I just thought, there's no better time to do it. Playing the masterful move then, I don't know why I did that, to be honest. That was a mistake, because I wasted a force when I could have just used Crush. But I wanted to check what was in my deck, obviously, to get Dooku's Saber. If the Saber hadn't been in there, I would have been a little bit stuffed. And there we see the weapon shield. 3 force for Newt, add an extra destiny. Bastion pulls the sense shield. So I did put image down just in case this battle went poorly, and he could only drain for 2 instead of 3. Pull my own shield and also the sense shield just in case, although I don't think he's playing any senses. So clash, or You're Beaten Obi before the battle. Initiate, he gets kicked out, so we're now 8 to 9. He reacts with Finn, but thankfully, because I drew a massive hand, I had the Lana combo, which cancels a react. That was huge, I think, and really went in my favour there. Use Newt to add a destiny just in case he has some kind of weird trick. Fire at Rey rather than Yoda, because I'm thinking Rey's going to go away immediately and I don't want him to play Blast of Deflection. I Sith Fury the Mara Jade into hand, which I was really pleased to get. Just another character with a weapon. And then we draw a 4, so she is getting hit. It like paused for a split second here, and I thought, oh, he's going to play the I think I can handle myself to cancel the destiny, but thankfully he didn't. Tyrannus is cool as well, he makes Jedi power -1 with him, so Yoda's only a 5. Play I Have You Now, add a destiny. So I'm now drawing 3. I really just wanted to overwhelm Yoda. So Tyrannus, the apprentice from Revenge of the Sith, is given the Sith icon, and cards with Sith icons are Destiny +2. So he was a 3 and then a 2. I think I didn't draw that great here either. Yeah, another 3. So 16 total. And he draws a 4, which I used Dooku to cancel and cause a redraw. I think he draws a 1. And another 4, that was it. So he's down 7. In my previous game, I had a similar kind of setup, and my opponent peeled 5 cards to keep Yoda around, which did not go in his favour at all. This is the other thing I really like, Revenge of the Sith. It's kind of the inverse of the Skywalker Saga, but if a Jedi was just lost from the same location as your Dark Jedi, opponent loses 1 force. So Yoda was lost and then he pitched the barrier. Why I think that's super cool, really strong, is because I've done this a few times now where you hit like Obi-Wan, so Obi goes and they lose the character and the saber. I'm guessing they're thinking I'm just going to wackle in and retrieve the saber, but they have to lose a force, so it gets stacked on top, so they can't immediately just wackle in or use the Yoda retrieval in the Yoda communion. So I really like that, kind of prevent your opponent getting their sabers back, and then hopefully drop Grievous and steal out of the lost pile. So now we're fairly even. We're 5-5. He can't battle still in his turn. I should have paused that then, sorry. So I think he just draws. Okay, he's going to play a spin here, so I'll try and pause it and get a little bit of a glimpse. Oh, too quick. There we go. Okay, so this was like brilliant for me to see because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 Anakins, 2 Reys, and a Leia in here. So I'm kind of thinking he's got 11 cards hand. He's not going to have too many characters to come back with at the moment. Interesting that he's got laser cannons and rapid fire. So my Maul Sith Infiltrator is not going on the table if he puts an X-Wing out. But yeah, just pretty standard stuff in his deck. Activation platform. Sorry about the mess combo. I know he can redraw the Anakins, so his destinies are pretty good apart from the layers, because he could potentially, if by some weird chance all of these Anakins got stacked on top of each other, he can literally draw all 4 of them with the effect, because it's not a once per turn action. So yeah, I'm conscious that whatever characters I put out are going to get hit probably. But as you can see, he draws up to 12, and then he passes, recirculates, and leaves 12 force active. So my turn, gotta try it, but Sniper Dark Strike, Mr. Kenobi plays Blaster Deflection, which I was really happy about that because I can't battle Obi anyway. Happy just to grab Blaster Deflection outside of a battle. Gives me a chance now to like reinforce, draw some cards. Would have loved it if I could have got rid of Obi-Wan though and then dropped Grievous and stole his lightsaber, but beggars can't be choosers. I went with Grievous over anyone else because I was umming and ahhing between Mara and Grievous, and I went with Grievous because I can play Imperial Command to either limit him to 1 destiny if he plays a command, or I can add 1 myself, and I definitely wanted to put Fallen out so I could start cycling some cards around. Not sure if you can see here, but the last card I drew was a Force Push, which is why I saved 3 Force as well. Yeah, this is one of those turns I was thinking I'm gonna get smashed here because he goes Chewie, Bowcaster, Solo, Anakin. So defensively, I didn't want to wait for the battle to start. I play a Sith Legend. This was a card I undenied about putting in the deck, but I really wanted to because first off, this picture is flipping amazing. Pre-Republic kind of Knights of the Old Republic Star Wars is like one of my favorite time periods. I think the old Jedi are just so cool. So to see this picture I was so happy when this came out in set 16. In the deck, it gets a bump to a Destiny 4, which is cool. But its text, you can reveal a lightsaber from hand to take its matching Dark Jedi or Sith or vice versa into hand. So kind of like the squadron assignments for Dark Jedi with lightsabers. So that's handy if you need to. But the other text, once per game, cancel the game text of an opponent's non-Jedi character present with your Dark Jedi or Inquisitor for remainder of turn. So, that I've played a few times and it's really come in handy, especially in this game. Like I say, he deployed Chewie, so now he's got 2 weapons, potentially 3 if Anakin gets his lightsaber. So I've got a force field in hand, so, and I know he's got a good Destiny, so I was like, I've got to cancel Chewie just in case he doesn't have the lightsaber. So cancel Chewie's text, and then I'm thinking I can hit Chewie. He's going to go back in use pile, so Solo's not going to add a Destiny, so kind of looking good. And then he puts flipping Screaming Lando out. So I go through, grab the I Have You Now, cycle back. At that point, I think I should have cycled back Mulsif Infiltrator the 6 instead of the Rise of the Sith, because it's only Destiny 3, and I really didn't see me going to space in this game. I think it was going to be one of those battling over the site, so that was probably a bit of a misplay. But I got a Sith Fury out of it, very happy. Always happy to have a Sith Fury in hand when you play 20 plus characters. So he battles, he gets to retrieve a force because he fights with a Skywalker. Thankfully, he only had Chewie, and he swings at Grievous, can't do anything to protect Grievous. And I got really lucky here. He draws a 4, Grievous only defense value 5. And he draws a 5. Cause him to redraw it. And he draws a 1. So he missed. And that was huge. Because Qui-Gon's lightsaber makes your characters forfeit 0. So at the moment, we're 11 to 23. 1 Destiny to 3 Destinies. So swing at Chewie. I get Dengar, Tyrannus. So I undenied about whether to Sith Fury Tyrannus then, because I'm thinking I could keep Grievous on the table, pitch T, and then redeploy him. But he wouldn't have had a lightsaber. So in the end, I thought I'll let it go and probably forfeit Grievous instead, because once I play Imperial Command here, I've got to find another one. So he's just a better character at this point, I think. So so it gets rid of Chewie. So now we're on 11 to 21 power. I play I Have You Now to add a Battle Destiny. He plays Leadership to restrict me back to 1. And then I play my Leadership. So just a note here on sort of timing. I think a lot of games in Star Wars, you get fixed on like, oh yeah, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play this, and I've got this to do. But actually, which order you do those things in can be really important. So it might not have made that much difference, but I think playing the I Have You Now first to add a Battle Destiny made him play his leadership to restrict me back to 1. If I'd have played my leadership first, probably would have turned the same, but I obviously wanted to play it to get him down to 1. So kind of waffling for no good reason here, but I just felt like it was a better way of doing it. Add a Destiny first, then play leadership to see what happens. Because sometimes with leadership, you may think, actually, I'm going to let him draw, multiple, but I also want to draw multiple because I want to clear the characters. So yeah, just, sometimes order of play does have a big effect. Anyway, so I play leadership, reduce him to 1. He grabs it, which is fine. And then he draws a 4 for Battle Destiny. So he's 25 to my 11, and I'm only drawing 1. Which I think is a 6. Yeah. So this battle, just really went in my favor here. He started out with 5 characters, and I had 2, and he only beat me by 8 force. Thankfully, because he missed General Grievous with the swing, and because I drew a 6 for Battle Destiny. So if I'd have drawn like, a 3, which is probably the average Destiny in the deck, and he'd have hit Grievous, I'm looking at, 13 to 25. That would have been huge. I'd have been peeling a lot. As it stands, I'm only peeling 1 card because Grievous kept his 7 forfeit. So, you know what they say, it's better to be lucky than good. But, the way I've built this deck is to have high Destiny. That's why I play, Maul Sith Infiltrator. Even though you don't play Maul, it's a cheap ship. Deploy 3, forfeit 6, power 4. It's got huge hyperspeed, so it can pretty much go anywhere. And it's Destiny 6. So, most characters in the deck are pilots. So, it's a 6. I play BB9. Obviously, you've seen I play the Masterful Move. So, I've tried to build it. Once you've filtered out your characters, ideally with Forlom, the deck is probably more like an average of 4 to 6 for Destiny. So that's why, when you battle like this, you draw good cards. So he's still looking pretty good here. He just forfeited Solo. And we're left now with Obi, Anakin, and Lando. I've got 8 force in my lost pile. He's got 2. Put BB9 back. For the Night, get Night Sister. Great card. And that went really quick. But I think I didn't really have to think. Sometimes you play Force Push and you and ahhing like, should I get this? Should I get this? With this, I was just like, as soon as I saw Dr. Ree, it was like, yes, I'm having him. So my thought pattern now, originally I was going to put Boba Fett down, use his text to fish out like another force field or something, and potentially go down with Mara and basically, hit Lando, hit Obi-Wan, and then hopefully not lose all of my characters. But as soon as I saw Dr. Ree, it was like, okay, 17 force. If Dr. Ree, Mara, and the Night Sister go down and I can clear the 2 Jedi, I am looking pretty good. So, grab Dr. Ree. look for a card with Crush, not one in there, but my Destinies were essentially 3s and 4s. He can't play Blaster Deflection because he only saved 1 force. Oh, that was it. Instead of Mara, I went with Sidious and gave him his lightsaber because he's high defense value, totally immune to attrition. He'd lost a barrier before that got retrieved when he battled, so I was waiting for this last force to have been a barrier for something, but not to be. So he initiates battle, I initiate battle, he gets to retrieve solo and add that to Binky Bonk's total power. Dooku swings at Obi. Draw a 3, but I Sith Fury this because I'm thinking in this battle could potentially lose him. I was also thinking there was other 3s in this deck, so I was like, I want to try and get this 3 out and hopefully draw like 3-4. But I draw 6-3, so Obi gets hit. When I saw him retrieve with Lando as well, I was really happy because I was thinking the 1 force saved, he could have used First Aid combo, which would have kept Obi-Wan's forfeit and would have prevented Dr. Ree from operating on him. But as soon as he paid 1 to retrieve solo, I thought, this is great. I, got him on the ropes here. So Obi-Wan goes, and you see he does the Obi and then the lightsaber, which probably wasn't thinking of it, but gets to lose a force. Sidious swings for Anakin. And I knew it definitely would hit Anakin because I had 3 was the lowest destiny. There's the second one. So was that thing, it pauses and you think, oh, he's going to play a Wisa and save his forfeit. But no. Dr. Ree gets to operate a second time. And he loses another force because Anakin is also a Jedi. Looking at 21-7. I draw 5. 26-7. And the Ninth Sister is going to make his Battle Destiny 0. So I was thinking he's going to play Gik. But then he peels, and I was like, what? So he peels Speak. Now this is Pod Racing, Solo, Luke Skywalker V, and the pilot dude. Speak with the Jedi Council, and then he just concedes because he's still got 14, so he's got to peel another 7 plus Lando's. So, and I've got 4 dudes sat at the site. So that was that, and I won. Yeah, super happy. Just a great way to end my May OCS month. Not only with a win, but against a 3-time world champion. So, like I said at the start, you might think this is a bit childish using this as my next video for the series, but it's my claim to fame that I beat a world champion. I keep saying it, but yes. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and as promised, I'm going to do a giveaway in honor of this win. So let's get on with this.